Coming up on WUFT Midday, authorities say it was a second attempt for the Republican presidential nominee's life. We have the latest information for you. Plus, today, oral arguments in a court appeal that could determine the fate of TikTok in the United States. And new rates in Gainesville's downtown go into effect today. How much you'll have to pay to park. WUFT Midday starts right now.
You're watching WUFT Midday.
The FBI are investigating what appears to be the second assassination attempt on Donald Trump in 2 months. It happened at his International Golf Club in West Palm Beach. This is WUFT Midday. I'm Emma Pastis. Thanks for joining us. The former president and current Republican presidential nominee was not harmed, but we do have the latest on the suspect that police have in custody.
For the second time in 2 months, former President Donald Trump is the victim of an apparent assassination attempt.
So I don't think this is the last we'll see of crazies out there trying to do this.
Sources say Trump was moving between holes 5 and 6 at his Florida golf club when gunshots went off. The golf round, a last-minute addition to his schedule.
I'm focused on finding out how he knew Trump's movements and where he was.
According to the Palm Beach County Sheriff, a Secret Service agent spotted a rifle barrel sticking out of a fence 300 to 500 yards away from Trump, and agents fired at a man in the bushes along the perimeter.
How was the outer perimeter? How was this shooter able to get to that outer perimeter, an area that should have been identified as a vulnerability previously?
Sheriff Rick Bradshaw says the quick thinking of a witness helped officers quickly apprehend a suspect.
Fortunately, we were able to locate a witness that came to us and said, hey, I saw the guy running out of the bushes. He jumped into a black Nissan, and I took a picture of the vehicle and the tag, which was great.
Law enforcement sources identified the person detained as 58-year-old Ryan Wesley Routh. Arrest records suggest Routh has a history with firearms and law enforcement run-ins. An active Ukraine supporter and Trump critic, law enforcement says he was found with an AK-47 style rifle with a scope. It's unclear if he has an attorney.
Today, a U.S. appeals court will hold oral arguments about a law that would ban TikTok in the United States. Congress passed a bill in April that President Biden signed into law. The ban would take effect in mid-January unless TikTok's ownership changes. ByteDance is a Chinese-based company, and the United States is demanding ByteDance divest itself from TikTok. But the company says not so fast. It is challenging the law, saying it violates free speech rights in the United States. The company says even if it is divested, it cannot happen by the deadline that Congress has set. No planes, no gains. Thousands of Boeing union members are on strike, bringing aircraft assembly lines at the company's Washington state plants to a near standstill. It is a boiling point that has been years in the making, say many workers who marched out on Friday.
If Boeing touts that we're the best in the industry, they need to treat us the best in the industry.
We expect our demands to be met, and we won't stop until they're met.
Daybreak Friday, revealing the determination of striking Boeing union members. About 33,000 walked out Friday after voting overwhelmingly to reject a proposed 4-year contract. Leaders at the International Association of Machinists Union described the deal as the best it's ever negotiated with the aircraft maker. Enthusiasm not matched on the picket line.
There's a lot of stuff that just doesn't add up. Their math is crazy.
As we watch their pay go up, we've watched stagnant pay on our side.
Stagnant for about 10 years, says IAM 751 President John Holden.
We got to get back to the table.
The rejected contract offered workers at least a 25% pay raise over 4 years. It would have also helped with health care and retirement costs. But many workers want their traditional pension plan back, one cut by Boeing years ago.
Some people may be bitter about the whole thing, and that's a good part of it.
The strike is the company's first in 16 years, and while consumer travel won't be affected, an ongoing strike could impact nearly 10,000 Boeing suppliers nationwide, possibly affecting well over 1.5 million jobs. Boeing estimates it pours around $80 billion into the economy annually, and it's eager to resume contract negotiations.
I think that Boeing understands now that we really are sincere about the way we feel. I hope this gets resolved soon.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Gainesville GPD welcomes the new chief of police today on his official first day on the job. Chief Nelson Moya has been in the force since June as last year as the assistant chief. He was appointed as interim chief in March after the resignation of former chief Lonnie Scott. In February, Scott resigned instead of being fired after city manager Cynthia Curry gave him the option to quit or be fired. WUFT spoke to Chief Moya, who says he is well prepared for this permanent role.
It has given me that platform to learn, right? And I assimilated to that culture by listening and watching and learning and slowly making some influences where I could. And I think this platform only allows me the ability to carry those processes on.
Chief Moya says he plans to continue keeping the community safe with his initiatives, including the gun violence prevention initiative that has kept many illegal firearms off the streets. Starting today, paying to park is going to be enforced in downtown Gainesville. Drivers will have to pay up to park in a 2-hour spot up to 50 cents an hour, except for on weekends and city holidays. Some drivers are already receiving parking citations because of these changes. Business vendors downtown like Terry Brooks worry that the fares could change the way they do business.
I mean, it's definitely going to get in the way. It's a little inconvenient.
City commissioners are encouraging drivers to park further away to spend less. Business owners say they are losing business during the week. In the Southwest Parking Garage, you can purchase monthly and quarterly permits up to $100. And downtown business employees can get parking passes for half off. A new report reveals abortion rates across the U.S. dipped after Florida's 6-week abortion ban was put into place. According to research from the Guttmacher Institute, monthly abortions in Florida were cut by more than 30%. The sharp drop in procedures happened when the Sunshine State implemented the ban in May. On average, there were about 5,400 abortions across Florida in May and June. That number was down from more than 8,000 procedures a month in the first 3 months of the year. Nationwide, the monthly abortion rate average fell 7%. Florida is a state where voters will have the chance to determine the future of abortion access in their state this upcoming election. The Polaris Dawn crew is back on Earth. The crew's SpaceX Dragon capsule safely splashed down off the coast of Dry Tortugas, Florida, just after 3:30 a.m. this morning. After nearly 5 days in orbit, the landmark mission was organized and commanded by billionaire tech entrepreneur Jared Isaacman. It included the first ever private civilian spacewalk and marked the furthest space flight since the Apollo 17 moon mission more than a half-century ago. It also makes crew members Sarah Gillis and Anna Mimon the most well-traveled women in history. During the mission, the Polaris Dawn crew tested a new spacesuit to protect astronauts from radiation and extreme temperatures, and tried out a new high-speed internet system. The pets of Marion County are hungry and they need your help. Marion County Animal Services ran out of peanut butter. It's what they use to make treats for their shelter dogs. If you have some extra oats or jars of peanut butter in your pantry, consider donating. They can also help by purchasing items off Marion County Animal Services Amazon wish list on their Facebook page. If you're heading south this afternoon, you should have an easy drive. Taking a look at our FDOT traffic cameras, I-75 is mostly flowing smoothly with no roadblocks or accidents. It is a little cloudy out, but the roads are clear. UF forecaster Nicole Borman joins us now for the weather forecast. Nicole, it's a warm day out, but it is also pretty cloudy.
Yeah, taking a quick look at our campus cam, we're seeing a lot heavier clouds in our area right now. Temperature sitting at 77, but feeling like 79. Now, even though we're feeling a little warmer right now, those winds are coming in from the north that might be cooling down our afternoon. Right now, even though we have those clouds, we're not really seeing any showers at the moment. We might be seeing some more as the day goes on. Now, with those northern winds coming in, we are going to be seeing temperatures at almost at 69 degrees in those upper 60s around Alachua County, which we haven't seen temperatures that low in over a month. Also affecting Marion County with those temperatures at those low 70s. Now, we're feeling these colder winds right now coming from the north because of this unnamed storm developing off the coast of the Carolinas that might develop into a tropical storm, Helene, which would be the 8th storm of our 2024 season. Winds currently at 50 miles per hour, moving at around 5 miles per hour. Now, even though this isn't directly affecting us, there are some thicker storms, these darker areas that are going to be affecting higher in the Carolina areas that might be having some flood warnings over there. possibly even some isolated tornadoes caused up into the northern areas, but still pushing those colder winds into us. Now, as we continue with our 2024 hurricane season, we are seeing some named storms over by us with Hurricane Gordon currently being tracked in the Atlantic Ocean. Now, even though we are tracking this tropical storm Gordon over here, it's moving at 35 with winds at 35 miles per hour. It should be dissolving into the Atlantic, so it shouldn't be really affecting us. Now, if we take a better look at how those showers are going to affect us in the next few days, we're currently seeing not that many, but as the day continues, we are going to be seeing some thicker rain over in the north central area, with it continuing to clear up into our Tuesday morning, but then continue back with those rains in our Tuesday afternoon with some parting in the clouds that might bring us some rain, might bring us some more sunshine into our afternoon. Here's a better look of what that's going to look like for later today. We have those chances of showers and 83 degrees and continuing to get colder as the afternoon continues. Now, here's a better look at our 7-day outlook. Temperatures rising up into those lower 90s and then continuing to decrease throughout the week, with those chances of showers staying steady throughout the week.
More than 1 million women in the U.S. experience menopause every year. Those going through it have symptoms like hot flashes, fatigue, and mood changes. Another big complaint is weight gain. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on how to boost metabolism during this stage of life.
It's a natural stage in a woman's life when her menstrual periods stop. Menopause can affect everyone differently, but weight gain is common.
It's true that changing hormones play a part here. But it's worth noting this: aging by itself is also associated with weight gain.
Dr. Sanjay Gupta says research shows that women in their 40s and 50s typically gain about 1.5 pounds per year. But while menopause may be an inevitable part of life, weight gain for those going through it doesn't have to be. If the number on the scale is inching upwards in this stage of life, he says it's probably due to lifestyle changes like becoming sedentary.
One of the best ways to rev up your metabolism in those years is with weighted resistance exercise, 2 to 3 times a week. Muscle burns fat, but around age 30, we begin to lose about 1% of our muscle mass per year. So weighted exercise can help us build back that muscle while also burning calories.
Gupta says to focus on exercise that works major muscle groups, whether that's lifting weights or doing activities like Pilates, aerobics, yoga, even walking is considered weight-bearing exercise.
Whatever workout keeps you moving, that's going to be the right workout for you.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Last week, the popular meat retailer Boar's Head announced the closure of a plant that was tied to a deadly listeria outbreak. Boar's Head officials said they will permanently discontinue the production and sale of liverwurst after an investigation found it to be the root of the contamination. They will also appoint a new food safety officer and food safety council of independent industry experts. U.S. Department of Agriculture Food Safety Inspection Service reports from the Boar's Head facility in Jarrett, Virginia, listed troubling details. They included insects, mold, and blood on the floor, and a rancid smell in the cooler at various points since 2022. In a letter to consumers, Boar's Head said it remains committed to customer safety. Now let's get over to WUFT's First at 5 anchor Natasha Holt with a look at what's coming up on First at 5 on Channel 5.
Thanks, Emma. Tune in tonight on PBS Channel 5 for the top stories we're following today. We're taking a look at whether the conditions at Citizens Field are adequate for student sports games. Some UF pro-Palestine protesters are still in court when their legal troubles may be over, and how local efforts are making a difference in areas with food insecurity. All that and more tonight. I'll see you on First at 5.
Before we go, let's get a check on the weather. It's looking quite dreary out there, Nicole. Will I get to get my tan on this afternoon?
I really hate to break it to you, Emma, but you might have to wait off a little bit longer to soak up those rays. Right now, we're seeing a pretty cloudy sky over our area, and even though we are going to be seeing some parted clouds soon today and tomorrow, we are seeing those showers continue to go over our north central Florida area. Now, continuing over that, we're going to be seeing these coming up over in the next few days.
Thank you for joining us for WUFT Midday. We're back here tomorrow for another edition.